Okay, Baruch Hashem, we got together to learn Rabbeinu together. You know, this is Mamish Chevra. I want us to know before we get started that Chevra, thank you for like Mamish, you know, opening this up. Thank you for Mamish coming tonight. Thank you for, you know, like doing this in this day and age. A Yid with a physical body to come to the Bet Knesset, to come to learn, you know, to come to learn Torah is not a pasha thing. You know, in this day and age, like there's like a lot of moves, a lot of worlds were turned for every single one of us to make it here. So first of all, just like a real thumbs up for all of you that you trekked out, that you mamish, and shkoyach for that breathing exercise. It was really geschmack. And before we get started, we always usually start with a niggin. But I just wanted to just start this with you. But like guys, later we'll do this a lot stronger. Just in Mitzvah Hashem, just to warm up. Diburim tovim, ya 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 ya, machshavot tovot, ya 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 First of all, so I just wanted to dedicate Le'ilui Nishmat Shlomo ben Yechezkel, B'ezrat Hashem. Sorry. Yeah, right. Thanks, I just remembered. And also Lahavdil ben Chaim for Refuah Shlema for Tinok ben Sarah, B'ezrat Hashem. Tzir ben Moshe. Yeah. For Ella bat Zilpa, V'gam Ella bat Zilpa. I'm sorry. Of course, yes. And Le'ilui Nishmat Avner ben Miriam Efrat.
And then Mordechai ben Evelyn.
Mordechai ben Evelyn. Refuah Shlema for Yaakov Yosef ben Peah.
Amen.
V'zeh mi ha'isha chavetz chaim. So Rabbeinu says in Likkutei Moharan, who is a man, in lesson 33, who is a man, the pasuk says in Tehillim, who is a man hachafetz chaim? Who is a man that desires life? Chafetz hu bechinat lev. Chafetz, desire. What is desire? Desire is the aspect of the heart. The desire, shachefetz hu balev. The chefetz is in the heart. Share with me here. Chaim hu bechinat dat. When it says chaim in the pasuk, because again, it's good to see the pasuk if you want to see the pasuk. Mi haish chafetz chaim. How do you finish the pasuk? Close. Ohev yamim lirot tov. Right? It's a pasuk in Tehillim. Yes, it's a pasuk in Tehillim. This is a lesson all the way at the beginning when we started this class in Likkutei Moharan, when we said this pasuk. Right? Remember? And we were like, what did diddly it have to do with anything? And the Rebbe didn't really, he just goes. The Rebbe brings up. This is the way Rabbeinu starts a lot of teachings. He says a pasuk, and then he just says, he starts talking. He's like, now let's talk about speech. You're like, wow. You're like, wow. And then you're like, but what happened to that pasuk? Is that all the way at the end of this whole symphony, you get to oh, by the way, everything we learned, that's this pasuk. This pasuk's talking about that. And you're like, really? How so? Yeah, this part of the pasuk. What's really life? That's this. What's really that? That's this. So we're at a section right now tonight in the Likkutei Moharan that we're blessed. He's doing sort of a recap of everything we learned, right? In a way, because he's plugging it all back to the pasuk, right? Don't ask why this is here, but yeah, but I have my own personal reasons, But anyway, so the pasuk goes, Mi ha'isha chavetz chaim. Who is the man that desires life? Ohev yamim lirot tov. That's what the pasuk says. Ohev yamim, one who loves days. Lirot tov, to see good.
What do you mean? Who loves days? Who loves to see good days?
Wow. Just even there. Yeah. What do you mean? Wait. It's even. What you said the next part of the pasuk, to see good. Let's say he loves days to see good. He's like ushering you, let's say, into the next part of the pasuk. But he's saying, yo, take a pause right there. He loves who loves days. What do you get from that? Love and days is right next to each other. Sometimes we make sense of a pasuk at the end. We're like, oh, because now the end of the pasuk it makes sense from the beginning. But this guy's saying, no, what about if you pause right there? What about this chunk? I never liked it like that, honestly, until you got here. Bro, all of a sudden he just pulls up, with his purple sweater, and he just gives it over to us like this. You hear? Period. You have to understand, because Rabbi Nachman explained that in every day exists love. Before you get to the second part of the pasuk of that they should see the good. But no, before you even get there, that's the next part of the teaching. Just realize, Rabbeinu says that there's love that's bound in every day. And he says, he's like, if Rabbi Nachman's very humble, he's like, if you don't believe me, here, I'll show you a pasuk. It says, Yomam yitzaveh Hashem chazdo. If you say this pasuk loud in yeshiva, some Bali Chuvas be like, yo, your mom, what are you saying? Yomam yitzaveh Hashem chazdo. Right? Hashem commands. It's very interesting pasuk. Hashem commands His love daily. He commands. If we only
a lot of questions here.
All I know. Wait. First of all, I know nothing at all. I'm telling you. I'm stating the fact. I'm telling you the fact that you guys open up to me is HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts through me whatever is supposed to come out. B'schut Rabbeinu HaKadosh. That's it. That's it. And sof pasuk. There's nothing about it. There's no question about it. Honestly.
Enough.
First of all, we're writing on this guy's chidush for now. That's the first part of the show. Then we'll get to the other stuff.
Get in writing.
I'm telling you, this guy. So So again, so mi ha'ish chavetz chaim ohev yamim, who loves days, the realization, right? That the Hashem, Yomam Yitzaveh, Hashem Chazdo, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Chesed is every day, it does not cease. We have to, if that's a part of Emunah. If we want to be strong Jews, we have to have that chedek of Emunah in us, that we believe, we're believers of what? Of the love that exists. Like a fire, Eish Tamid. It's interesting, why we sing Eish Tamid? Eish is Gura, no? But when it comes to the pasuk, Hashem says, Yomam Yitzaveh, I'm commanding, I'm like, it's like there's like a Hashem's so passionate about his love for the Jewish people. We have no idea. We would be consumed if we got a real glimpse of that love. Hashem should help us relate, you know? Ezrat Hashem. That's the whole purpose of Yitzbodedut, Achenu HaKadoshim. We go to the fields or yes, even in our car. You know,
What
like somebody asked me, like, you know, what about in my car? I can't get out of the car. He's like, it might be a coyote, there might be a, raccoon, this, that. I'm like, it's okay, bro. Even in your car, the Eibishter, the Shekhinah is right with you. You know? But like, obviously, if you get to the field, that's like mamish the best, because there's a lot going on in the blades of grass and the trees, and it's good to be there. It's good to be there. There's organisms. There's emet. Rabbeinu said that way before, studies have shown, But like, and someday they're probably gonna, the studies will show that, like, that how much plantation has like an effect into society and from society back and forth. But when you're out there, when you're in nature, like with all the vegetation and everything that's going on, and the animals and everything. There's a certain oneness that you could feel that's easier to feel than when a person's in the hustle bustle of the city. Like we're city boys. We grew up here, we've been living here. So for us to go out into nature's mamish, it's like a shtickle Gan Eden. That's why Rabbeinu wanted us every day. He's like, guys, hit it up, bro. He's like, I'm telling you, Rabbeinu went down, he's like his one flame of glory. He said, if you're going to take one thing from me, it's Hitbodedut. Yeah, that's why I want to add that part to the song, Hitbodedut. Halavai. That's what we gotta do. It's what we gotta do, bro. That's only what are we here to do? What are we here to do otherwise? Anyway, so the pasuk says, so again, so mi'esh chavetz chaim hu bechinat leiv. Chafetz is the aspect of leiv. Shechafetz hu belev. That desire exists in the heart. Chaim, what's chaim? Life. But what is life? Rabbeinu says hu bechinat dat. What's what? How do we? It's a big jump. I just threw it in there, but I'm saying, when Rav, who was Rabbi Freifeld, as if it's Tzadik Livracha, he came to Rabbi Shlomo Freifeld. I don't know if you ever heard of him. The one who started Shar Yashiv, the Yeshiva Shar Yashiv. But he was a very cool dude. The original guy. Yeah, the OG Rosh Yeshiva of Shar Yashiv was like the coolest dude on the planet. I'm telling you, even like fully fledged pop stars were like, I'm thinking about joining the yeshiva. They told him that they were like they wanted to join.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Sign me up.
When he said, whatever, okay, let's go. What? No, as if it's a big Are you kidding me? If he was still with us, I'd grab you and be like, yo, bro, check this dude out, But, yeah, Hashem. Good chavra. For Steinwurtzel, he's like fire. Thursday nights, he's like flaming away. Okay, so Chaim hu b'chinat dat. So Rav Freifeld once came into Ezra Academy. It's a school I studied there as a student, and not only that, but I later taught there, right, as a Rebbe, and then There's a lot of Ezra days in
They
Ezra
loved
Kavanagh
him.
those days. So then all of a sudden, I remember what happened is that Oh, so they told me about this. I wasn't even there. So he said that they said that like the Rosh Hashiva came to the school, and like he walks into a classroom, and he's like sort of takes over the classroom, and like he's sitting there, and these kids are like, these kids are like these like Queens kids, and then they're like looking at this Rosh Hashiva. His mom is like a gadol, and he's sitting there, and he's like, guys, I want to ask you one shaila, one question, and tell me what you think. So they're all like sitting there like, wow, the Rosh Hashiva is gonna ask us a question, it's gonna be like mamish, the most craziest, like biggest thing, like it's gonna be like unbelievable, like earth shattering, like what, like who's gonna try to do this? So then the Rosh Hashiva says, what's the most real thing in the world?
God.
So then one kid was like, God. One kid was, and then another kid was like Torah, and another kid was like mitzvahs, and another kid was, they went around, and then that was like the whole, and they like joked around, and they connected like that, and then at the end they were like, what is it? And he's like, guys, it's Coca-Cola, and he said, have a good day, and he leaves.
Wow.
Those guys in that room will never forget that man. Do you get what's going on? That's called dot. That's called dot. That's integration. That's when when you connect to someone, when you really connect. You don't just like go, you hear a mesmerizing shir, like, bah, very nice. The pshat is, azoi. No. You walk away. Rabbeinu, his Torahs are not like that. It's not like, give me a vart on the parsha. It doesn't go like that. He doesn't say varts. The Rebbe doesn't say vartelach. You know what I'm saying? He says mamish like life-changing statements. Chaim equals life equals dot equals knowledge. If we're going towards other directions, we have to know that we're going in the wrong path. If there's no knowledge there, there's no God there, there's no life there.
Yeah, but everything we do needs knowledge. Like there's knowledge from the Sidra Achra, and there's knowledge from the pure life source.
Right, but
So
even in the
there's-
Sitra Achra, you see a rejection of knowledge. A lot of times, like let's say, I told you, Chaver, about the guy that was studying in the Vatican that wanted to, he was asking too many questions. They told him at a certain point,
Maybe that is for you. They said, right?
it's no. They said it's either our way or the highway. They didn't say.
Not a place of questions. Is that...
Yeah. They were like Borag Gomsho basically in
They have been talking about
You gotta-
in
you
Farsi.
wrong.
You gotta tell me what that means in Farsi.
Yeah, well, we'll see that later, baby. Yeah, it's mamish like. So hu bechinat dat. So kamosha. So you can't ask questions because there's a certain like it's like okay meaning like there's a point like we hear what you're saying but like we don't investigate. What do you mean? Like in the whole nature of Talmud Bavli, why is it so awesome to learn Talmud Bavli? Because when you learn Talmud Bavli, there's no point if some Amora or some Tana, feels like what you're saying doesn't make sense. If the other one says something that doesn't make sense, he's gonna object. He's gonna be like, "Yo, bro, what the diddly you saying?" And that's okay. That's okay to do in this day and age because you know what? So many of other people are doing it too. So many of out of whack people are doing it, and everyone's saying their own knowledge. You have to stand up for your own knowledge. And if you can't take a stand for your own knowledge, then what can you take a stand for? There's no Chaim. I saw a footage in some country. I don't want to describe what kind of country it was because I don't want to seem, all these people out there. They're looking to, oh, you're against this. No, I'm not. I'm not against anything. I just saw this footage. Rahman al-Islan. I wish I didn't. But it was in a foreign country, and the guy that did it, he was very smart. He did it in a way that he shows you first a scene of a dog. That there was a dog that was hit on a highway. And and not badly, but wounded. But he was on the highway, and another dog comes, and like grabs him and like dodges other cars and like they mamish they coordinate together and they make it through, and then it goes back to another scene of like with humans, and it shows you a scene where like it's on the side of the road on a certain country, and there was a girl that was hit by a vehicle, and she was on her bike, a little schoolgirl.
Something else runs over.
And then, but before that, all these cars they pass by. Before the other car runs over. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's great, but I'm saying, but before we get all these cars, there's like 100 cars. Guys smoking cigarettes. There's like a young human being that's screaming of pain, and you're like chilling, listening to the radio, taking a toke. Like, what's going on? Right? So sometimes, like there's no dot. If there's no dot, there's no life. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Because the source of life is the seichel of the Baal, of the possessor, of the one who possesses it. Is the life, is the source of life. It's the source of life. We look at Rabbeinu as Mekor Chaim. Why the Breslov, Nacha, Novei, Mekor Chochma? Why do first of all they say that? It sounds a little like, Mekor Chochma. Yeah, dude, yeah. You could have a tzaddik that you could trust so much that you could believe that everything is saying is not coming from like a Torah perspective featured in YU. No. It's coming from Atika, Satima, Kadisha. It's coming from Keser Mamish. That's why a lot of Rosh Yeshivas might have issues with Breslov. How could you just learn Breslov? It's the deepest of the deep. Like when you have to have foundations. You have to have, And the truth is, you have to understand that Rabbeinu is such a great doctor, right? That he can put in his teachings advice that even someone that if he's learning his teachings, he can learn how to like be a mensch. I thought for, let's say, like, I'll give you an example. I thought for a while Rabbeinu was like, it's all about Hashem, it's all to do this, that. Don't pay any attention, to money, what you do with money, whatever, how you spend it, this. Don't worry about it so much. Just serve Hashem. I thought maybe that was his policy. All of a sudden, one day I see, lo and behold, it says a story, a student, I don't know, he said something, he was careless with his money or something. He said something, that came up to Rabbeinu, and Rabbeinu was like, he was very mocked, and he was like, what the diddly, bro? I mean, he didn't say that language, obviously, what I'm saying? I'm paraphrasing, but his mamish, Ayom v'norah, he was mocked on him. If it says he was mocked on him, it means that
that's what he believes.
Not just what he believes, he was like, Chabiri, like, get your act together. What do you mean you just like lost to this amount? You have to, yeah. You know what Rabbeinu said? Listen to this. I almost thought, I was like, I'm reading Rabbeinu. It said, you have to watch your money like the eyeballs in your head. I was like, whoa, you should have Shema.
What's the catch? My money.
I was like, you know what? It's a fantastic question. We probably have to have another sheer on the topic of money in itself. You know what I mean?
Why Rabbeinu? Why Rabbi Nachman? Why not this?
Rabbeinu, I'm just trying to tell you, Rabbeinu can teach you how to be a mensch. It's not only the Kabbalah, it's also how to be mamish a mensch pasha. One time I saw in Rabbeinu, listen to this. I saw another one. It says these people before Shacharit, because it says in Shulchan Aruch, you hear this? Mamish says in Shulchan Aruch that they, and it's also brought down in the Gemara that if a person goes to the bathroom before he davens Shacharit, it's a praiseworthy thing. It's like a person clears himself and then his body's clean and then he prays him. But Rabbeinu said, you should know this teaching, lo lemalachei hasharet nitna. It wasn't given to the angels. The way it is when it comes to the bathroom, if you need to go, you go. If you don't need to go, you don't go. Don't make yourself crazy about it. And then listen to this. No, I'm a kid growing Mishtabach Shema. I was like, all of a sudden I'm at this guy's house. I don't say a Chassidut, from which Chassidut. All of a sudden in the morning he gets up. He has his whole routine. He has his coffees. He goes, walks around the house, this, that. I'm like, after a while, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And then he's like, he looks at me, he's like, no, it says, the Gemara says, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, Rabbeinu can help you in so many ways that we don't even know. Let alone the great things. Let alone the things that he's like, if you come to my kever and say, Tikkun HaKlali, if you fall to Gehenom, I can pick you up. He also says that. I mean, it's important to note, you know? But he can help you tie your shoes. You understand? That's what a tzaddik is. He never abandons his people. Never. His job is to help. That's who Rabbeinu is. Okay, so now that we said that, let's just continue. That's dat. So dat is the source of life. Hainu, kishemekasheret alev la'dat. So this is also a summary of what we were learning. If you attach your head to your heart to your head, shelibo birshuto, then what happens is, and we should be zoche to everyone, this is what we need to do, that every Jew should be zoche. Shelibo birshuto, that your heart is not just a wild horse that's loose. And that's Rabbeinu's Lashon. He also actually says that your thoughts is like a wild horse. It could be tamed. You could maneuver it to the direction that you want to. Right? It should be libo birshuto. Your lave should be in your reshut. Shekofef et yitzro. That we should have the ability that we can force our Yetzer, steer it to the right direction. Azai lefi bechinato ohev yamim. And this is what is known as someone who loves days. Days. It's very interesting.
I understand what they're saying there.
Okay, as better. Tzaddik. Yes.
I'm thinking that they're saying because the person has a chance to fight the Yetzer Hara, and the next day, this is why he loves days. It's because he knows he's going to wake up the next day and fight the Yetzer Hara to do good.
I'm telling you guys.
Or am I?
I'm telling you guys. I had no idea. No. I had no.
How does a person tame?
No, he's saying something very deep. He's saying the fact that he overcomes his Yetzer Hara already gives him like an aspect of loving that moment so much that he can't wait till the next day, the next opportunity, the next moment that he can also make right.
To keep going, madrigal.
Right, he loves himself with Hashem so much that he's drawing such a love inside of him, even though that like on the outside it's like, you know, it could seem like a very gevura kind of motion, like, you know.
He basically makes the Yetzer Hara his best friend in the world.
He's making the Yetzer Hara his best friend. I never thought of it like that.
No, as a master, the slave should be the Yetzer Hara, meaning that you could toy around with it. That's
He forces it, not friend necessarily. He tames it. He forces. He's kofef is the Yetzer Hara.
Let me give you an example. There was a story of Rabbi Zusha. He was very upset at a time because he did a mitzvah. There's a whole beginning to it. He went to go he needs to go marry off his daughter. His daughter already has a chassan. He doesn't have money to make the wedding. So he goes to his brother who's a big rabbi, collects the money. While he's going home, he sees a whole commotion. A woman lost her wallet. There's 300 rubles there. So he goes up to her, says, "What's the simanim?" All this stuff. He goes and he takes his 300 rubles, puts it inside a wallet that he finds that looks like it makes a simanim, the whole 9 yards. And he comes. So while he was going, the Yetzer Hara, he felt like the Yetzer Hara was sitting on his shoulders and laughing at him. Saying, "Ha ha ha! You think you're gonna do this mitzvah right now? I got something on top of it. I got something on you." And what was it? I'll tell you later. So basically, he goes and he says, "I found the wallet. I found the wallet. I found the wallet." So she goes. She sees 200, 100, 200, 250. She sees, but not the other 50. So she goes up to him, and everybody's praising him at that moment. "Hey, you found the wallet. You found the wallet." So she goes saying, "Where's the other 50?" And he was like, "What you mean? It's tip.
Well, this is a wondrous
Where's the
story.
other 50? What?
She's like, where's the other 50? There's only 250.
Yeah.
Where's the other?
So who took the other 50?
The
She's like,
Satan.
what do you mean? It's a tip. I found it. No, I should take 50.
It's the
She's like, no, what do you mean? You're stealing. Let's go. She takes him to court. The rabbi is like surprised that the Rabbi Zusha.
This is Rabbi Zusha?
This is Rabbi Zusha. He's such a huge guy. Rabbi
Wow.
Zusha is here for $50. Rabbi Zusha, you know the laws. You're supposed to give it back to her. Okay. He gives it back to her. He goes home, and the rabbi is bugging out. He's not understanding why Rabbi Zusha would do such a thing. So he goes to his brother, finds out that he actually collected money for his daughter's wedding. So he goes over there to Rabbi Zusha and he asks him, why did you do such a thing? You're so well known for your Torah, your Gemara, and your all these little things. Why would you do such a thing? He said, because whenever I was going to do the mitzvah, the Yetzer Hara was laughing at me that because I'm going to feel pride in my mitzvah, that it's not a 100% mitzvah. So he wanted to do it 100%. Like, you know how an angel is created with every single mitzvah you do? So he didn't want the limb missing or anything like that. He wanted it to be 100% perfect, complete. So he said this is what he had to do. He had to not feel any pride in his mitzvah. Because whenever you do mitzvah, feel pride. So this is why I'm bringing up best friends. Because the way Rabbi Zusha, he wasn't going against the Yetzer Hara like, oh, damn, you got something on me. No, he outsmarted him. He said, thank you for the tip. I didn't think of that.
I love that. I love that.
So that's what I mean whenever you're making the Yetzer Hara as your best friend. That he's giving you things.
By the way, we have amazing insights by so much chevra over here. It's so geschmack. No? It's like a tremendous yishtabach shemo. Like, this is unbelievable. So that's one take on kofef et yitzro, what Rabbeinu saying. We could safely say. Baruch Hashem. Azai lefi bechinato ohev yamim. Hu mamshich et ahava, which means what? Hu mamshich et ahava. He draws the love that exists, the love that you're talking about, that's coming from dat, from such a lofty place. Letoch hayamim. He's drawing it into the days. Uletoch hamidot, and he draws it into the midot. Rabbeinu said before, the pasuk says, Ohev yamim lirot tov. That who is a desire of life? One who we said desire of life is
Who loves days?
but we said life is intellect, is knowledge.
Right.
That's the source of life. And so when you're attaching your heart to your dot, to your intellect, to your knowledge, meaning that your yetzer is in your control, right? And then you're a lover of days. You can draw that love from that high level of knowledge into the days and into everything around you.
So that's basically when you get up in the morning, you should think about your deeds and make them into.
It's not necessarily as finite as just thinking of deeds. It's a great concept. It's tapping into the source. It's almost like a meditation, attaching your heart to your mind. That your heart should be in the dominion of your mind. You know, by the way, some of the Hasidim, the minhag came of not wearing ties, out of this thing of like, because the mind and the heart should always be connected. You know? Like this whole thing, I'm telling you. There's all this Hasidic like stuff is like there's like whatever. Yeah. Sorry.
The person doesn't have knowledge. It's very dangerous for him to connect his heart. He won't be able to.
Right. Bar
So
minan,
what's
right.
the first step? And if a person doesn't have his knowledge, then he has to dive in Torah. But
So what does a person do if he doesn't have knowledge? It's the
Doesn't
first
have, yeah,
the
what
first
is he
step
supposed to
again to look
You
to
don't have
one
the
of
opportunity to keep learning every day. Diving
No.
in Torah.
right. The truth is, even if you don't have the time, like mamish, to sit in a shir every day, but nevertheless, the little that you grab could be so precious to you that like it's like your life depends on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was listening to a shir from Rav Sabag in Yerushalayim, in Eretz Yisrael. Rav Sabag, Shlita, his Breslov that's on fire. I'm telling you, Svardi, like he looks like he's like he could rip up a lion. He is like peot, like down to here. He's like I got this Baba Sali thing going. He's got some like tefillin here, and it's always crooked, and it's like he's just like yelling. Sometimes he smacks on the table so hard that it's just like. I feel my spine quivering.
It's an earthquake.
It's like mamish. And look, I'm just like the whole like.
It's hard to understand.
You know, like the whole approach of how he looks at everything in Torah. He's like, you know, even what like the little that you take, you could squeeze life out of it. Like your life depends on it. That's really what it's supposed to be about. And if you have that, if you look at knowledge like that, then Rabbeinu is saying we could grow out of any situation. We can come to see a very deep light. Lir'ot tov. What does it mean, lir'ot tov, to see good? V'ro'eh u'masig, that you're going to come to such a level to see good. What good? Not just good, but it's a or, kitov. Veganuz, the light that's good, that's hidden. Shemasig et or, that you can tap in to this light, the hidden light. You know?
For the tzaddikim, though.
Yeah.
Hainu, which means HaTorah HaGenuza, Torah that's hidden, the hidden Torah. There's aspects of Torah that's hidden.
Yeah, the Zohar.
Right, but that's tzaddikim HaGenuzim, and this tzaddikim that's hidden also. There's tzaddikim also that's hidden in the world.
The Zohar is the
Right.
non-hidden part of the
So just like there's these aspects, he's saying, yeah, those things could be revealed to you. Those things could be, yeah. At least like Rabbeinu was like, yesh. He's never like, he's not a cancel culture type dude. You know what I mean? Like Rabeinu's like, you know, he's mamish, like, he's always like, go for it. Like it's gonna be good. Like yesh tikva.
Yeah.
You know? Like, but anyway, there's a lot to say about that, but whatever.
Okay, where are you holding? Which part of Lama Gimel?
So we're like actually like
This way I want to come in.
we're in parentheses now. Towards the end of the Torah, Reb Nosson starts parentheses.
Which chapter?
But like I wanted to just like stop there in terms of that right there, if that's okay. But I wanted to crack this open a little bit, just a little bit of this. Just give me a second. This is geschmack. Okay, first of all, you should know there's a book, Chevra, that's put out, that's Letters of Rabbi Natan, and you have to understand, if you want to understand,
letters like handwritten letters.
yeah, letters that Rabbi Natan himself wrote to like his sons, his students, right? Rabbi Natan was tzaddik,
He was a disciple of Rana.
right? Not only a student, but also. Right, not only top student, but also he was a person that, like, first of all, came from in Europe from a very wealthy family that was very hugely like scholarly. They were very into Torah learning. Talmidei Chachamim, like tremendously Litvish, very very Litvish. You know, like no Hasidus whatsoever. You know.
Litvish is like very white shirt,
Yeah,
black
Torah
pants.
all day,
They're
all
like,
night.
let's go. Get into the Torah, get into the Gemara, get into the Gemara.
Kulam Kedoshim, I'm saying, but like a different style completely. You know, and it's by the way, if you want to just, I mean, if you want to understand about the whole like back then, there was a machloket between Chasidut and the Mitnagdim. It was like the Mitnagdim against Chasidut. Rahman al-Itzlan. It was like such a powerful machloket. Like if you ever want to get glimpses of it, there's books about it.
With the Vilna Gaon and like with the whole Misnagdim?
Yeah. All this stuff. It's like if you want to read like crazy stuff.
I'm still shocked by what the Vilna Gaon, like you said.
Yeah, it's a whole schmooze in its own time. But right now, I just want to tell you, with regarding this, that Rabbi Natan himself wrote letters to his students, his sons, and he wrote such practical chizuk. And just for us to know, Rabbi Natan knew, by the way, when he came into Rabbein, he knew kol shas poskim, right? You have to understand. You have to, a person that knows, like kol Torah kulo, and he comes into Rabbeinu HaKadosh and he meets Rabbeinu HaKadosh versus, you know, I mean, I'm not putting it down. The experience is different for every single person. But seeing what Rabbeinu is saying in Likkutei Moharan, a person that knows Shas and Poskim, is like, whoa! And I saw this in Eretz Yisrael. When I was in Eretz Yisrael, when I was learning in yeshiva, I went to Mekubal in the Shuka Bukharim. It was like there was a Persian Mekubal there. I went to see him, and like in the middle of the conversation, he's like, he's like, you know, Rabbi Nachman, you know, you know. And I was,
How do you know?
I was like, yes, of course. He's very good. You know, And I'm like, yes.
A Persian story?
Yeah. It's like
How old? I was like 80?
Yeah.
He passed
This
away.
guy-
No?
Yeah.
That was the guy behind the.
Yeah, but the very fact that he's learning,
Yeah, we're talking about a guy. We're talking about a guy that used to go to that Rizal's mikveh every day, and he lived in Yerushalayim, achi. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So it's
Where
a
would you
buzz.
see him, though?
Yeah,
In
he's
a store?
a guy that like treks for purpose.
Where would
you know?
you see him though? In a store?
He had it in his apartment. He had a little apartment.
And Moharan Shuk.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's a good spot.
He told my friend even more. When he came, like privately to my friend, he's like, you should know I'm a Breslov Chassid. You know? But guys, like, he looks Persian. He looks like, he looked like, me.
Yeah, you look like you.
I mean, no, my beard's a little bit. His beard was more trimmed, and he looked a little bit more. But anyway, Bitchila haya li tsar gadol. So in Breslov we view it that honestly, whatever Rab Natan says, it's like mamish as if Rabbeinu is saying it, but to you. You have to look at it very personally.
Which book is this?
Okay, so in general, the letters of Rabbi Natan is called Alim Litrufa, letters of healing, right? And it's mamish, like, just wondrous. But like, I personally, didn't have the patience to like sit through like the details of the letters. So so these Breslovers, what they did was some of them, the group of them, they took the letters and they took like the main point out of the letters, and they made it into this like special little book over here. Yeah, Penine Hitchaskut, the inner strengthening from Alim Retrufa, from the healing leaves. So basically, the kids are doing a lot of healing. So let's open our hearts. So this is what he says. Betchila hayalitzar gadol mimichtavecha. I just want to give you a taste of this. Initially, I had a lot of pain from your letter. So the way I read it is that I'm looking at this like if I'm in a situation of pain. So this is like my response. I mean, Sharachta mitzarecha, that you've been so schlepped out in your suffering. Ach matzati gam sham et shava nafshi. But nevertheless, in your letter, I also found what my beloved soul was searching for. Look at his such poetic words. Shehem, what is that? I saw something in your letter that what my soul was searching for. What was that? Shehem hanekudot tovot shelacha. Your positive points. Like take a look in the mirror, I think. Shehem hanekudot tovot shelacha. Your positive points, to recognize your positive points, that you do that. Shatam mechayeh atzmecha, that you give yourself life from this. B'darche Adonenu Moreinu v'Rabbeinu Zal, which is in the way of our Rebbe. B'ma'at hitzbodedut utzaka, with a little hitzbodedut and with a little crying. This is in response to someone writing to him saying that he was suffering so much.
So Rabbi Nachman is replying to him?
So Rabbi Natan's replying to him.
Rabbi Natan is replying to him, and this is what he's replying.
Yeah, exactly.
Rabbi Natan's replying to Rabbi Nachman.
Honestly, look at it as if Rabbi Nachman's replying to you. That's the best way.
Right,
Okay? And that's the way I did it, and that's the way I was like, because that's really what it is. I mean, in a certain sense, the student is completely reflecting the light of the Rebbe, So he said, what was I happy? Like, I saw you were suffering so much, but the only thing that I was able to draw life from was that I saw that you're giving yourself life from one thing, from finding your positive points. I'm so happy from that. Can you imagine? That was the last thing like you could hear from someone. It's a game changer.
It is. That makes you feel different.
Packaged together with a little hitzbodedut and a little crying, a little calling out, tza'aka, which means getting out your heart to Hashem. With a little bit of that, together with this practice, I'm so happy to hear. Even though that he's like, I was very, initially I had a lot of pain from seeing that you were suffering. Zot nichamti be'ani. This is what gave me consolement in my impoverished state. Ze chelki mikol amali. This is my my biggest purpose of all of my efforts in this world. You hear what Reb Natan saying? This is Reb Natan that dedicated his life to Rabbeinu. Ma shekavar ichnasti bachem mima'at amitat etzotav udvarav hakdoshim. That I was able to just put inside of you a little bit of the positive advice that Rabbeinu gave to us. Mi yiten shetekablu akol. Who will answer us that we can Bezrat Hashem, that everything should be received in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? V'telchu b'chol darachav, and we should be able to go with Hashem in all of our paths. Va'ikar, and the main thing is lishmoa heitev bekol atzmenu. The main thing is make sure you hear your inner voice. Don't let go of that inner voice. Fire words. Bekol hitchazkut ma shemechazek umezarez umazhir beyoter v'yoter lesameach et atzmenu b'chol et. And that this is the thing that Rabbeinu insists and warns us so much about, to make ourselves joyous, to be in a state of joy at all moments. However it may be, whatever it may be. You know, if you take this letter, honestly, if you mamish like make it big and like you read it every day, just this one letter is enough to sail you through this whole world. You know? That's the preciousness of like Reb Nassim. Like when Rabbi Natan, you have to understand, Rabbi Nachman is like, they give this like imagery, like so that we could sort of just try to get a picture, you know. Rabbi Nachman, they compare to the sun, right? But Rabbi Natan, they compare to the moon. The sun, sometimes like it's hard to just stare at. But with the moon, you know, like, which means it's really one and the same thing. The only thing is that we're talking about reflecting, taking the ideas of Rabbeinu and bringing it down to Bezrat Hashem, that we should grasp it in a way that it should be inside of us and in our hearts. Bezrat Hashem, ad bias Mashiach tzidkenu b'merav yamenu, amen v'amen. Chazak baruch, chazak baruch, chazak mitzvot. I love you guys. I love you guys.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we got fire, bro. Recap.